how important would you say is the business mentoring element? Is that something which is emphasized much? Because Singapore, while it has an industry, it's not a huge industry. And a lot of talent seems to flow out as well. Um, so, how do we make the most of what we have here? What are the business opportunities that exist?
One aspect of mentoring that can probably be expounded on a bit more is the reality of filmmaking, because like I said, it's about taking a notion or a dream and turning it into something tangible. To turn it to something tangible, you need tangible things. You need people, you need places, you need equipment, and now in this world evermore, you need a solid financial framework, you need a solid legal framework. So I think it's not so much, I think, yes, I think if your question was, does the business side of show business need to be focused on a little more moving forward, I would say yes, that's probably what mentors can bring to the table as we move forward. Because in terms of how to make a film, I had to read books, I had to kind of go to school to sort of frame that aspect of it. But in today's world, I think I think you could probably learn the basics or the basic principles of filmmaking or writing. You could go online and look at a script format. You would know what a script format is in a few minutes. But I think what mentors can bring to the table is more the more practical aspects of going back to communication and negotiation. How do you essentially work with other people to make that a reality?
So for all of Olivia, Jedidiah, and Spencer, how much does the business component weigh on your mind when you're creating something? And does it influence the outcome?
So I think from the get-go, when we know that the budget is going to be limited, like in terms of finding collaborators, so that's like one element that is also affected in a way. So like for example, when I pitched my story to like potential collaborators, and thankfully a lot of them, they were like really excited about the story. They believe in the idea, and even with our limited budget, they really still believe in the idea, and they were like, oh, we'll try to make this work, like even maybe lower than commercial rate, but they try to juggle like multiple jobs and like make it work together. So I think that also affects like how fast we can finish the film, because people are juggling their other projects, right? So that is, I think, the practical reality where we're like, okay, at the end we still just want to finish the film no matter how long it takes.
I think it really depends on what I'm writing. So like there are some scripts where I write and I don't want to think about all these like production concerns. I just want to write what I think is like a really great story. And so these stories I would just write them, and I wouldn't think about it. And like I see it as like a exercise in like writing. And yeah. And also it's like it could also eventually become a sort of like calling card. Like if I create a script that's really, really good, and then I can become a calling card for myself as a writer. And then there are some scripts where like I really want it made, and then I wouldn't think about like how to fit it to a network, but I would think about what networks can fit what I'm writing, if that makes sense. And so I would think about who I can pitch it to, and then I have to think about which aspects of like the project I'm married to, like which are the aspects that are like non-negotiable, and which are the ones that I'm willing to like change and massage and negotiate. And yeah, so I think like TJ mentioned, it's really a lot of negotiation and communication.
I mean, most definitely. I think even in our series Pitch Lab, the mentors, were quick to say, that's not going to fly. No one's going to understand that. No one's going to get it. We don't understand you. He's very quick to tell me these things, because It's a fact. And he will also say, you know what, that's too long. It's getting boring. They're not going to buy it. It's true. It's a selling game at the end of the day. And no, and we have to, you have to pitch your story in like 5 minutes to someone, even if you have 5 minutes. And chances are that person who's going to fund your film has already heard of something similar. Like, for example, when Jedidiah thought that his idea was really unique, Chun Chae from HBO just shot him down and said, I get this every week. So it's like, wait, what? So definitely learning how to pitch, learning how to sell what you have is really important. I mean, those things don't really change much, isn't it? I mean, in any industry.